This video will go over setting up employees in the system. The Employee Management form is available from the System Maintenance tab. In using the Employee Management form, there are several types of employees that can be managed using the system. There are admin or internal users, drivers, and mechanics. Each of the user types has their own set of options. We will go over creating each of the employee types. And to begin adding, click the Add button. Enter a unique employee ID, and you can use numbers, letters, or a combination of each. No special characters should be used in this field. Enter the employee's last and first name, date of birth, and hire date. Next, select the login account to be used by this employee to log into the application. If one doesn't exist, you can create one by clicking on the New Login button. To create a login account, you will need to enter the login ID. This should be the employee's email address or some other ID you wish to use. Keep in mind that this login ID must be unique in the entire system. So using an ID such as an email address will keep the values unique and provide the employee with a login ID they can remember. Next, select the account type. It is important to select the proper account type, as failure to do so will prevent the user from having proper access to the system. There are three types of account types: client, driver, and mechanic. Select the appropriate account type from the drop-down. As you can see, the employee's full name has been already added to the username field. And next, you will set the permissions to grant the user or employee. And if client is the selected account type, you can grant the system global permissions to the user by clicking the admin option. If, however, you want to limit the user's permission to a single location, or the location they are assigned to, uncheck the admin option and make sure the other permissions are checked. Setting these four permissions will simply limit the user to only have access to the location that they are designated to. If the user type is a driver or mechanic, you only need to check Access, Add, and Edit. The permissions are the same for both types of employees. When you are finished, you can click the Save and Close button to finish the process. Now that you have added the login account, you can see that the login account is filled in for you when you return to the employee add form. If the employee is an admin or internal employee, you do not need to check any of these options. Home address is optional, but you can enter an address for record-keeping purposes if necessary. And next, you can select the proper home terminal and then select the type of alerts this employee will receive, if any, and the delivery method to be used. Types of alerts an employee can receive include failed inspections or hours of service alerts, and the alerts can be delivered by email text message, or both. If email is checked, you need to enter a valid email address in the email address field. If text message or SMS is checked, you need to enter a valid cell phone number and select the proper mobile carrier from the drop-down. To enter a driver record, check the driver option here. For a driver, email address, phone number, and home address are all optional, but of course can be stored for record-keeping purposes. If the driver will use personal conveyance and yard move duty statuses, check the appropriate options. You must also enter the driving rule set used by the driver, and this can be different from the driving rule set the motor carrier uses. So check with the motor carrier for more information on what to enter in this field. Enter a valid license number and the license state. And finally, select the proper home terminal from the drop-down list. To enter a mechanic employee record, simply click the mechanic option. The mechanic option sets are very similar to the admin user option sets described earlier. The mechanic is able to receive alerts, so you can choose which alerts the mechanic will receive. The delivery method desired, either email, text, or SMS message, or both. Then enter the appropriate email address and cell phone number and mobile carrier. Make sure you select the proper home terminal. And once again, the home address is optional, of course. When you are all finished, you can click the Save and Close button to finish the process. You should now have a better understanding on creating all of the different types of employees in the ELD application.